DC Comics in even more trouble. Every time I think things can't get worse for DC Comics, there's something new in the water. And today is actually some great news in terms of creators. It's bad news for the corporate entertainment of the big two. And if you want to support indie comics, the best way to do so is to grab my Deus Vult. Deus Vult is a wonderful fantasy book just like you used to get with Conan the Barbarian or John Carter or anything back from the 70s before all these weird corporations just started going woke and crazy, messing with your books and your entertainment. Everybody's enjoying this book so far, gotten great praise for it. Jesse White's art is some of the best in the business. Check it out on Kickstarter today. Deus Vult, that will be in the description below. And thank you everybody who supports the channel by doing so. The big news of the day for comics is that James Tynion quits DC for creator-owned comics. This is huge. James Tynion is probably DC's top writing talent right now. He has had a very, very highly acclaimed Batman run to counter everything else that they've been doing with the character and with that whole franchise as of late. He's been really their saving grace, the thing that everybody wants to look forward to, the thing that everybody enjoys. And his work on the Joker has been, frankly, even better than that. It's been good stuff. And he has too much talent to be at DC is what it comes down to. DC Comics really doesn't pay their talent well. It's just like Marvel Comics. It's not DC's own thing. But these corporate entertainment goons have you work on properties they own that were built by somebody else, they were made by somebody else, they're maintained by somebody else. You only have a little bit of control as a writer, as the editors and then the people up the line, mandate stories, mandate crossovers and things like that. And, frankly, they only pay you a wage rate with some minor royalties on the back end as the graphic novels keep coming in and all that. So you were really left with a business where you don't get much out of what you've created, and you're kind of just stuck in this cycle where some giant mega monolithic corporation runs all the creativity and owns everything at the end of the day. It's the reason why DC and Marvel are so stale these days. They're doing everything they can to keep these properties in a line where they can actually just churn them out into movies. They don't want them to actually progress or do anything interesting or do anything too far outside the box unless they're trying to push a social justice message down your throats, in which case they'll give it an exception. So that's where it's at, and James Tynion has apparently had enough. He's had some pretty successful creator-owned books also. He's more on the horror side, so it's not something I'm typically interested in, but I know that they are wonderful books, and he's done a good job on that front. Apparently, he signed a contract with a company called Substack. Now, Substack is a subscription service model. So you put out your content, you pay, certain dollars a month, and you get like whatever they come out with in the content that month. And they're expanding into comics, and they've hired several different comic creators to work for them on that. James Tynion says that it is actually the best contract he's signed in his career. So he's very excited about this, and it's a new, different pathway and business model forward. Of course, we put out lots of comics online also in different formats. And it's nothing new, but to have somebody do this with this level of talent and this level of following that James Tynion has is really a sea change for the industry, and that's why this is exciting. You don't see a lot of people at the top of their game just leave like this. Usually, these companies really just work these people and grind them to death until their best work's far, far behind them, and then they're kind of forced out and they kind of do their own thing in the independent realm several years later, which really doesn't measure up to their work. Tynion's in a different spot, like I said, at the top of his game right now, and him just cutting ties with the corporate entertainment slog is a huge, huge deal. It means it's not working anymore. It means that the people who really have the top talent aren't interested in playing that game anymore, and I look forward to seeing more of this happen. This is one of those things that I think could start a domino effect, where a lot of people, a lot of the good talent will just stop working for these companies and then do their own thing. It's going to be more competition for people like me, but I'm okay with that. I like the competition because it only hones my senses and my work, and I find this to be exciting. I'll be looking at this. I'm not going to subscribe to a service for James Tynion, but if they come out with a trade paperback collection or whatever, I'd be interested in checking out this UFO-themed series that seems up my alley. All right, what do you think about this? Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll be back soon.